Social Security. The work that I have specifically been doing, I am on the Judiciary Committee and the Natural Resources Committee.
Congresswoman Hageman went back to Wyoming, apparently expecting her very red state constituents to buy the same thing Elon Musk is having trouble selling.
I worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, helping Wyoming family farmers deal with drought until I was fired a month ago in the mass firings, and despite only having the highest marks in my performance review. In a state where so many farmers rely on government programs for drought and disaster relief, Trump's plans to cut these programs and the people who administer them, coupled with the tariffs, will decimate Wyoming farms and rural communities. What are you doing about that?
I disagree. I come from the ag community. I'm well aware of what kind of programs are out there. It's so bizarre to me how obsessed you are with federal government. But here's the thing. You're going to have a heart attack if you don't calm down. I'm sorry. Your hysteria is just really over the top.
Yeah, she's making it incredibly clear that she has absolutely no reason to give a damn about what her constituents are telling her, because she simply doesn't agree when it's about her voters versus her master. The entire Republican Party works for Elon Trump, from all these representatives to cabinet secretaries like Howard Lutnick. It's really, really pathetic.
I mean, this is just so outrageous. You have probably the best entrepreneur, the best technologist, the best leader of any set of companies in America working for America, and you have this sort of weird side of the Democratic Party attacking him. Let me remind you, he's the guy who saved the astronauts, and he's the guy who's going to build the next generation technology. I think if you want to learn something on this show tonight, buy Tesla. It's unbelievable that this guy's stock is this cheap. It'll never be this cheap again. When people understand the things he's building, the robots he's building, the technology he's building, people are going to be dreaming of today and Jesse Waters and thinking, gosh, I should have bought Elon Musk's stock. I mean, who wouldn't invest in Elon Musk? You got to be kidding.
All right, so you're calling the bottom. This is it.
Whether today's the bottom or not, I tell you what, Elon Musk is probably the best person to bet on I've ever met. And I think we all know that. I mean, gosh.
It's telling that the Commerce Secretary sounds like a salesman for Elon, the same way Trump was when he turned the White House lawn into a Tesla showroom. The way that this administration quickly turned this entire party into an endless representation of Elon Musk shows how easily the flood of oligarchs' money changes the way these guys act. Yeah, politicians have been lying to people's faces while they secretly work for billionaires and corporations for years, but they don't even care about hiding it anymore.
Look, see that? Trump was right about everything. It just came in. Somebody sent, I said, but this was sent in by a fan. I said, I think we should make some of them, right? But we were, pretty much. You want one?
I'll pass.
Are you allowed to take one? Because
not.
he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff. Yeah, Brian, you're not a stiff. He's sort of a stiff guy. You know? He'll take other things, but not a free hand.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the president.
Would anybody like one?
So the Commerce Secretary is supposed to help with promoting some economic job growth and job creation and improving folks' living conditions when it comes to international trade. But every time you see Howard Lutnick, he's being a cheerleader. So apparently his latest job is focused on saving Musk from his own actions, because Tesla's stock price has erased all of its gains since Election Day. It reported its first ever drop in global sales last year, and it faces stiff competition in China and slumping sales in Europe. Despite the record low prices for a Tesla on the used market and a prominent advertisement by the president, the cars have been having a tough time finding buyers. That's according to a March survey from Cars.com. Searches for used Teslas decreased 16% over the past month, while demand for used non-Tesla electric vehicles has increased 28% over the past year. Car gurus found that used Tesla prices are falling at more than double the rate of average used car prices. The Cybertruck, the controversial steel-sided pickup, fared the worst of any Tesla vehicle, with a resale value 58% less than its original price. So despite the free market working the way Republicans always preached that they want it to, all these guys in proximity to the most influential oligarch in the White House feel an obligation to work for him, even though the cars that they're trying to hawk aren't always living up to the hype. Tesla said Thursday it's recalling nearly all Cybertrucks in the United States to fix an exterior panel that could detach while driving. It's the latest in a series of callbacks for the pickup truck. The recall covers just over 46,000 vehicles built from November of 2023 through February 27th of this year. The recall addresses risks a stainless steel exterior trim panel can detach from the vehicle, making it a road hazard, boosting the risk of a crash. Tesla's service will replace the rail panel assembly with a new one that meets durability testing requirements. And they went on to point out that Tesla had led all automakers in recalls last year, which is something that many people deal with and understand. But when there's this constant push by MAGA leadership to promote this car company, not because of their actual belief in the product, but because of their fealty to the guy that owns it, it probably only widens the divide in the political atmosphere that they created.
Here's what I would say. I'm doing this myself. Yesterday, I told my wife, hey, I think we should buy a Tesla. I'm not even a huge car guy, but I respect to such a degree what Elon Musk is willing to do for this country when it comes to space, when it comes to vehicles, when it comes to free speech, when it comes to trying to save every taxpayer money. I'm one, you're one, Dana's one, a huge percentage of the people out there listening. I can't believe that we would allow people to attack him in this way. Pam Bondi's right. This is domestic terrorism. But I think people with the resources, when it comes to the vehicles that they're going to choose, I'm going to make the choice. I'm buying one of these to support Elon because I appreciate everything he's doing for the country.
Have y'all noticed that both Clay Travis here and Howard Lutnick reel off this same list of baseless propaganda to paint Musk as this genius that saved astronauts and free speech, so that people will lay off seeing what he's actually doing to their lives? But I get the feeling that those conservative farmers up in Wyoming, maybe those fired and mistreated veterans in North Carolina, or the everyday folks that all these town halls are screaming and yelling at these folks about, they're rethinking the way that they'll spend their money and how far their 401k is going to drop. They don't care about buying Teslas to help this guy that's causing their unneeded stress. They're so out of touch. Clay Travis went on to criticize Democratic Senator Mark Kelly for getting rid of his Tesla after Musk called him a traitor.
Senator Mark Kelly, Democrat in Arizona. I like Senator Kelly. I don't get it, all right, but this is what he's doing.
I think it's time to get rid of it. Elon Musk kind of turned out to be and I don't want to be driving a car built and designed by an Here I am with my new ride. Chevy, good old Chevy Tahoe here in Washington, D.C. Got one of these in Tucson as well. This one was made by Union Labor, United Auto Workers in Arlington, Texas. Always good to buy Union cars, incredibly reliable.
Here's the catch, though. The Tahoe's not an electric vehicle. They tried making a hybrid. It was 11 years ago. It failed. And now you've got this. You got the giant gas guzzler, which is contrary to the entire movement of the past 20 years.
This is totally what happens, right? People lose control of all of their mental capacities when they act entirely based on emotion. I'm sure Mark Kelly's not a complete moron, but this was a completely moronic decision if he cares about the climate at all by their own logic. He went and bought an electric vehicle to try to help the climate, and then he went and replaced it with a gas-guzzling SUV. This is a sign of how much Elon Musk has broken left-wingers' brains in conjunction with Donald Trump. They're now buying gas-guzzling SUVs instead of electric vehicles because what? Elon Musk is trying to save taxpayers too much money? Reasonable Americans see this for how ridiculous it is.
This is a sign of how much Elon Musk has broken left-wingers' brains, he said, to get rid of their electric Teslas in exchange for a big-ass SUV. The tactic is to simplify people's lack of desire to support an owner of a company that's openly violating our laws and demeaning the people whose social security numbers are in his back pocket. They leave that part out to avoid having to defend his actions and his dismissiveness. But the best part of this claim, Musk broke the left's brain is that this guy that looks a lot like Clay Travis that announced he's buying a Tesla didn't have too many good things to say about electric cars versus his gas-guzzling SUV.
Have you heard about these awful stories of people who cannot get their electric vehicles charged because of all of the issues with cold weather? It's become a massive issue. People are having to stand in line for hours in some places in the freezing cold to be able to get their electric vehicles charged. That sounds miserable to me. Again, I'm supposed to be in Knoxville this weekend for the Tennessee-Alabama basketball game. I think I'm going to go. We'll have to wait and see how the weather shakes out and how the roads are and everything else, but I think I'm going to go. I don't have to worry about having enough gas to be able to get to Knoxville. If I had an electric vehicle, I would have to be a little bit nervous about my charge status, and I'd have to find somewhere to charge it in order to drive to Knoxville and turn around and drive back. Instead, I can pull right into a gas station. I can fill up my car as needed, and I never have to worry about it taking me more than 5 or 10 minutes to hop right off the interstate and fill up the gas tank. Again, I'm not opposed to people who want to go get their electric vehicles, but convenience is the number one thing that matters the most to me. I don't get it. But I would be furious if I were one of these people in sub-zero temperatures trying to line up. I think the electric vehicle infatuation is going to, if it hasn't already, peaked and begin its decline.
So I guess Elon broke the MAGAs and Clay Travis's brain to suddenly want to buy a Tesla that won't allow you to easily drive to Nashville, because he's now doing everything he can to get supporters to bail on their gas guzzlers and buy Elon's cars, despite his prediction that the electric vehicle infatuation reached its peak. Yeah, so I guess their brains are broken. They don't even realize that Senator Kelly's decision to get rid of his Tesla was prompted by Elon Musk going on X to call him names and disrespect his service to the country.
And the absolute absurd behavior of the left. He triggers liberals so much. Mark Kelly, the supposed moderate, the guy who's such a moderating voice in the Democratic Party. Every time I get in the car over the last 60 days, it reminds me of the damage from Trump and Musk. Who gets in their vehicle and for 60 days, the thing on their mind is how much they despise a politician? This is entirely abnormal behavior.
Musk called Mark Kelly an American hero, a traitor.
When you've gotten in your car, I know
Ukrainians.
you don't drive, you're in Manhattan.